So I'm constantly focusing on, say, a person or whatever it is that I want to improve the vibration of myself. So I focus my positive attention.
Are you trying too hard?
Maybe.
Because sometimes there is trying to do with action something that you haven't yet accomplished vibrationally, sort of like pushing a noodle. But the alignment, which really is dominant, sometimes just keeps sort of dominating, and so the things that you think you're trying to do just keep not working out. This is the answer, and we think you'll hear it easily, because in all that efforting, in that trying too hard, you are stepping all over the toes of the path of least resistance. You see, your inner being's always guiding you along your path of least resistance. A path of least resistance, or a path of most allowance, means it feels easy, but something that has happened to you, it happens to a lot of people, and you kind of keep perpetuating it, is that you don't believe that important things should be that easy. It's like going to purchase something, and the first thing you see is exactly what you want, but you still think you should go to all the other stores and see all the other things first, because what if there's something more? Because this was so easy, there must be way better waiting for you. Yes?
So if I can let go, and then something happens, and I'm saying that that is my emotional guidance system steering me away.
For example?
Yes, with a person. So in a dating scenario, I think it could apply to a work scenario, so many scenarios. Anyways, it's going good, you're having positive thoughts, and then something comes into the experience that makes you feel bad or unhappy. So I'm trying to tune into my emotional guidance system. Maybe I'm reconsidering, maybe I should let that move away.
We are so appreciating this conversation. This is why we like this conversation so much. You are speaking as if, because it's what you mean, you're speaking as if the main event is the manifestation as quickly as possible. And we want you to understand that it's satisfaction with or without that manifestation. The manifestation will eventually come, and it will be the next logical step when it does come. But there are so many logical steps before that full manifestation comes, all of which can be satisfying too. But when this full-blown manifestation seems so important that you're trying to manipulate it and force it and guide it and make it happen, then sometimes, in fact often, your own knowing about what you really want remains dominant. It's what makes people say, well, some things just aren't meant to be. And we don't like to say some things just aren't meant to be. What we like to say is there are way more satisfying ways for this to unfold than the way you might have narrowly decided you want it to be. And something that will free you from that is to ask yourself why you want that. What's the essence of it that you're looking for? Because sometimes you get fixated on a specific way that it will unfold, or even on a specific person, rather than upon the essence of what it is that you want. Over a lot of experience, you've put many relationship things into your vortex. You want someone who is delicious for you to focus upon. You want someone who is expansive and knows it and wants to be, not someone who's rigid and fixed and sort of all finished already. You want someone who understands guidance and who gets there easily and who isn't dependent upon your alignment for their alignment. There are so many things that you want, and sometimes you see a sort of package that may have some things that you know you want that really doesn't have those other things. And so the question that you want to ask yourself, so many people, if we were to ask them this question, would give us this answer. If we were to say, do you want the relationship now, or do you want it better? And most would say, I'll take now. Because they think something is better than nothing. And the reason that they think that right now they've got nothing is because none of this counts to anything for most of them. That's just airy-fairy, mumbo-jumbo, Abraham crap talk. That's just talking about things that aren't real. I want my money to come out of the vortex and into my bank. And I want my lover to come out of the ethers and to get into my bed. And so we want you to know that this is real and that there is satisfaction in this. And when you relax into the satisfaction of the acknowledging It is our promise to you that if you will savor as you go, when you get there, it is better.
So with the particular person that I have in mind, I've been doing this dance, and I'm grateful for all the contrast for sure. And I see that. And when it gets too much, I pull back and give it space.
Trying too hard, 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 way too hard, trying way too hard, trying way too hard, trying too hard, thinking too much, trying too hard, moving to a specific end, trying too hard, trying to manipulate the laws of the universe, trying too hard, trying to make it happen, trying too hard, not going with the flow, trying too hard, not surrendering at all, Dorothy, trying too hard, trying too hard, trying too hard.
So maybe focus on something else, like knitting or...
Anything else for a little while. Anything else. Anything else for a little while. And all the while understanding that that's just fine and that it's not going away and that it's getting better and better. Do you want to make it happen?
No.
This is so helpful. Do you believe, does it make sense to you that you've already done the creative step one work that has created what you want? That's the all-time most important question. Do you believe that your relationship is already in your vortex? Then why are you trying to make it out of mud?
Terrible habit.
Well, it's a human habit, and it's not terrible, and we get it. But the impatience can be explained in only one way. You haven't discovered the satisfaction of the unfolding. Every human gets that, because everyone wants the manifestation more than the idea of it. We get that. That's your human cuteness. And we don't mean that disrespectfully. You came to manifest. That's how you're different from your non-physical counterparts. You came to use your physical beingness to translate energy into something more than thought, something tangible, something so translatable through physical senses that it has to be described as realer. You came for that. And so you're hearing no criticism from us about your eagerness about getting there. But when you try to jump over this satisfaction factor into that, then you work too hard and you leave things out. You get there too fast with only some of the things you want. But when you savor, when you get there, all the things you want are there. All of them.
So like writing journals and doing practices and all the processes, maybe I should not do that. Maybe that's...
Well, it's all right. It's all right to do that. But just know why you're doing that. You're not doing that to conjure. You're not doing that to create. The creation has already happened. You're doing that to line up with the creation. You're doing that because it feels fun to think about that. Not to make it happen, but because it's pleasing to think about that happening. Can you feel the difference?
Yes.
You're writing in your journal because the words feel good as they roll off your mind. You're writing in your journal because it feels good to acknowledge what you're in the process of experiencing. Not to make it happen. Feel the difference. Focus is about the pleasure of focus, not about the agony of banging things into place. A lot of people offer most of their action to try to compensate for what they're not accomplishing energetically. And the energetic accomplishment is understood by your state of satisfaction, by your state of well-being, by your feeling of positive emotion. And so you could just ask yourself, this makes it really simple as you're going along, whenever you feel sort of like you're urgently writing in your journal, just ask yourself, is this an emotion of impatience that I feel? Is this a feeling of lack that I'm trying to compensate with these flowery words? Am I feeling what I'm writing, or am I trying to make something different happen with what I'm writing? Am I trying to manipulate the universe with these words in the same way that I try to manipulate other people with my words?
Right. It's very good.
So what we're really talking about here is, what's my real power of influence? Do I accept the influence of my inner being? Do I accept the reality of my vibrational reality, my vortex? Do I believe that the cooperative components are there? Do I have to push this noodle? Do I have to force anything? Do I believe in this influence? And so isn't my singular intent now to let myself be under that influence? Isn't my singular intent to go with the flow of that? Isn't all I really want to do right now is believe it, is know it, is trust it, is taste it? Do I need proof of it before I taste it? Or can I taste it in its vibrational form? That's the question of this seminar. Can I taste it in its vibrational form? Can I sniff it out in its vibrational form? Is it pleasing to me in its ethereal form? Because if it is, then it will become more and more and more and more. And then you'll say and mean, hey, I'll know it when I see it. I'll know it when I see it, because I've known it in this phase and in this phase and in this phase and in this phase. So there's an ease within you. There's a patience within you. There's a willingness to allow it to evolve. Not just because you got to allow it to evolve, but because it's fun. Because this is fun too. This is way fun. Way more fun than getting out of your body. Being in your body, exploring all of this vibration that's all pointed toward, all coming into stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger focus, until suddenly, and it will feel sudden because you'll turn a corner just like so many corners you've turned, and there what you're looking for will be, and you acknowledge, aha, yeah, I know you. And there's no resistance on the part of the other, because that wasn't part of all of this. There's no confusion on the part of the other, because that wasn't part of all of this. There's absolute knowing. You know, the other knows. No matter what the other is.